Hi, Zach.
Ronald, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for taking some time to meet with me.
Yeah, thank you for being in Amsterdam today.
My pleasure. It's a beautiful location too here on the Zeus.
Yes, we're at the Zeus here in Amsterdam. That's one of the training locations of RelyOn Nutec. And you are my colleague from Thompson Bridge, powered by RelyOn Nutec.
That's correct. I'm Zak Allen. I'm the Global Head of Learning for Thompson Bridge, powered by RelyOn Nutec. And we want to talk a little bit about electrical training today, don't we?
Yes, indeed. We have developed one another on safety of electrical training. What motivated you to start with the low voltage trainings?
Well, I think a few things really came to us. There's definitely a need coming from industry. So we have lots of folks who, especially with our electrical transition that we're in right now, and we're building more and more electrical infrastructure from offshore wind to onshore wind to just the facilities needed to accommodate this transition. We're going to see a lot more electrical technicians who need to be able to be qualified to access facilities.
Okay, that's great. And what were the main standards that you considered to use?
Well, if we look in the European market, we wanted to target the top level of that standard, and that's the EN 5110. But EN 5110 is a kind of an overreaching standard. So we have to, for each locality jurisdiction, we have to dig in because there's going to be regional regulation, there may be country-specific regulation and standards.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to look at law.
Yeah.
We also need to look at, like in the Netherlands here, we have NEN 3140 for low voltage.
That's great to hear. Yeah, indeed, at RelyOn Nutec we have several really big clients that work not only in the Netherlands but also in other countries. So then in the Netherlands you can provide them with the NEN 3140.
That's correct. So if we target both the top level, find everything that's consistent across those, but then localize it, right? So make sure that it really meets the need here, because ultimately we want qualified people in facilities.
And the same is now what you are going to develop also for the UK, for Germany, Belgium.
Yeah, moving forward, that's exactly where we want to go. So if we build that body of common content,
Mm-hmm.
and then we find the differences for each locality, jurisdiction, country, it could even be company specific in some cases.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we target that need specifically. There's also some places like here in the Netherlands that have accrediting bodies or third parties that will look at curriculum and either certify it or certify the examination process, things like that. So here in the Netherlands, it's Stippel. So we've really looked at what they're going to require out of their process to make sure we include that in the curriculum and in the training sessions.
So in the end of the training you can also do an official Stippel exam.
I believe that's one of the great options we're providing as part of this service. So that's one more thing that we can help with.
Okay, that sounds great. And when you look overseas, you're from Australia. Are there big differences between how we do it in Europe, and is that also going to be used in Australia, for example?
So it's interesting. We say there's big differences or there are no differences. The physics of it is the same, but how it's actually done, right? The work methods, also the equipment that's used in a specific locality, the terminology, the symbology,
Mm-hmm.
right? I come from the U.S. with an Australian company, and even between those two, we use different terms. We use different symbols to recognize high or low voltage or what equipment is rated at. So the physics, the actual body of work is really similar. The individual implementation and what we need to teach folks when they actually get on the job site in their location will change. And it's really that service and that ability for Thompson Bridge and RelyOn Nutec to bring to our customers where we know this is a challenge. You, as a multinational or even as just a larger company, might have folks working in multiple countries,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you move one from one to the other when these things change? But yet it's still a skilled person.
Yeah.
So we know they have the skills. We need to make sure that how can we get them compliant? How can we get them competent in the local regulations, standards?
At RelyOn Nutec, we have global clients in the oil and gas, in the maritime sector, in renewables. Are the training going to be the same for all industries, or are there also going to be made specific trainings for specific industries?
It depends on the role within the industry. If the role is similar, let's say it's someone doing maintenance work or instrumentation work that they could get their skill set and what they're doing is the same,
Mm-hmm.
then it's really just getting them authorized in that jurisdiction. So it might be a regulatory requirement, or it might be a compliance requirement.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something more specific, like we need to work on the switchgear in a wind turbine, or
Yeah.
we need to work on what is going on for underground or undersea cabling, DC or AC transmission,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's something specific to oil and gas to a rig or a refinery, those things, yeah, we'll definitely target. But if it's a general skill set, as well as a defined skill set, we'll be able to help in each.
And then are there also several levels of training that you're going to provide?
Yeah, that's a good question, and some of that is actually dependent on the locality, the jurisdiction. Like here in the Netherlands, for low voltage, we have a instructed person, a skilled person, and a nominated person.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be a different level. When we move to like Germany or the UK, those things may change. Fundamentally, most places have that, and we will make sure that they get what they need at.
Maybe the terminology is going to change.
Yeah, the names of those positions will change, or there may be interims between them, like different levels of authorized or nominated person, and we'll make sure we address that as we roll those up.
So in that case, you can make sure that with one training you can cover several countries, but on the specific level, that you know that they're educated on the right level with the extra local legislations and standards that is needed for the compliance.
Exactly, because a lot of it is the same. It is similar. I mean, we're trying to keep people safe. We're in an electrical environment, so those chains of command and who can do what,
Mm-hmm.
having that logically laid out is normal. It's just how each version, what they call them, what their limits of responsibility or liability are, and we'll address that in those localized versions of the courses.
Okay, great. And now we've been talking about low voltage. We've now started with the Netherlands with the NEN 3140. So other countries are coming with the low voltage. Are we going to do the same with high voltage?
And that's the plan, yeah. And in fact, in addition to looking at just the qualification levels, like skilled person, instructed person, and nominated person on the top, we're going to even look at an operations, more operator type skills training for high voltage. There's definitely a gap in skill set that we're seeing, especially as we have other work going on in high voltage electrical spaces now.
Mm-hmm.
We see more and more high voltage coming in, from on docks to in wind turbine nacelles to all over the place. It's making more sense to use high voltage, it's more efficient. We're seeing it deployed more often. So you're going to have more people in those spaces. And they may not even be the electrical people, but they need to be safe in those spaces.
Yep.
So getting that operator level, getting them some technical skills, so not only are they safe, but they know what they're doing in that space to stay safe. Definitely need.
Well, that's great to hear. Well, we will check out the website when everything is ready, and we keep working on it.
Yeah, it's the development phase is the most fun. We got a great team. We have a team here in the Netherlands. We have folks in Aberdeen, Scotland. We have folks back in Australia and in the US, so all working on this project. So it's been a real fun project to work on.
Well, great.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.